Good morning. This is awesome. I am just watching people jump in, and I'm going to give it just another couple minutes because we were trying to get all of our interpreters in the room. Good morning to our guest speakers. I see both of them on, so that is cool. This is going to be a great event, so I'm really excited. Awesome. So I'm going to give it just another minute or two. We've got, gosh, probably close to 300 people registered, and we've got about 120 on now, but I'm going to value your time, I promise you, and get everybody on today. I hope your Saturday is going well. I hope it started off to a great start. And I know we've got all of our great panelists. So here's the deal, guys. So we have people from all over the world on this webinar today, and we've got translators in German, we've got translators in Hebrew, we have translators in Chinese, and who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. German, Chinese, gosh, what am I missing? Let me look at my list. This is how it goes sometimes. Oh, I forget who's in the Portuguese room. And hey, anybody want to shout it out? Any of my panelists? Who's in the Portuguese room?
We have Dutch.
Zoe.
Dutch. Yes, thank you, Dutch. Gosh, that's my brain fart for today. Hopefully that won't happen again, guys. So like I said, we've got people from all over the world, and it's great to see you too, Sarah Reinholtz. And I hope you got on to that Friday chat yesterday. I hope you made that happen. Good morning, Connie from Canada. This is going to be a fun day. Okay, so I'm just going to let the attendees just kind of scroll in, but I am going to start this amazing event. We want to value the time for our guest speakers as well. So let me share my screen because we have some good stuff to share, and we're going to just get to it. Oops, want to get through that. Let me go to this. There we go. Okay, so for all of you who are sitting here wondering what is going to happen today, let's talk about the agenda. Today, we really want to help you get your year off to a great start. So we are going to be talking about creating your word of the year and making like a power statement. And I'm going to be partnered on that segment by my BFF, Jody Dietz, who is our friend in Canada. Then we've got an amazing planning, goal setting, VIP groups, social media, all kinds of stuff with one of my favorite people in the entire universe, Belinda Ellsworth. I feel like I've got chicken skin right now because for us to snag somebody like Belinda is like crazy. She is in hot demand, and we got her, and that's going to be awesome. Then we're going to take a break so that our translators can get a breath, get some water. You can maybe take a bathroom break, and then we're going to get right into another segment of Belinda. Then we'll go into social selling and launching a virtual business with our guest speaker, Mary Beth. We'll take another short break, and then we'll go into some coaching techniques with Jane Edwards in the UK, and then I will introduce a brand new selling system, guys. So this is going to be fast and furious, so buckle your seatbelts, get ready. It is going to be awesome. So I hope you're all ready to think about a new year. And that's why we call this Jumpstart. We want to be able to jumpstart your year, get you motivated, give you some things to step away and really hit the new year in high style. So let's talk about our word of the year. You know, what I love about a new year is just the possibilities. You know, we're in 2021. A lot of us just want to put 2020 behind us. I know I do. Although there was a lot of cool things that happened in 2020. You know, for many of us, we got really connected to our nuclear, our family nuclear core or nucleus, and we really tried new things and had to kind of stretch muscles that we didn't have in technology and in social media. And it really was interesting. But when I think about the new year and all the possibilities, one of the things that's always really worked for me is creating kind of a mantra or an overarching goal to really start my new year and really help those possibilities and that possibility thinking kick in. So what if you chose a word that was really a constant reminder throughout that year to really focus on the change that you wanted to create? Most of us start a year, we're excited. It's like a shiny penny. It's shiny and new. It's full of possibilities. And we want to be able to kind of think, okay, how do I want to keep going? What is my mantra? And what if I could tell you that, for many of us, it's just one word that can really keep that little, like almost like that little nagging, constant reminder in our head to tell us to stay on track, to keep up with our goals, to keep up with what we wanted to start when we went into the new year. And this is really what most of us call a word of the year. For some of us, you might be thinking, wait a minute, Lisa, one little word is going to be able to change everything for me in the new year. Well, not really, but one little word can be that reminder, can be that kind of Kickstarter. And it can also help you when you start to get off track. For me, when I think about words of the year in the past, I've had words like present. I wanted to be present, more present for my family, more present for the field, and when I started to stray or get off track, and I remembered, wait a minute, remember, you're going to be present. That's your deal. That's the word. Or, maybe it's consistent. When you start to get off track, you ask yourself, am I really being consistent? Am I doing what I set out to do in the new year? And that's really all you need, is something to keep you on track for the year. A single word has so much power, you guys. It is the difference between can and cannot, the difference between try and triumph. One single word can really, encompass your why you're doing something, why something resonates with you. It can encompass something that you feel passionate about, and it really gets you out of bed every day. And it can really help you to find your joy in the everyday things in your life. And that is such a powerful thing for so many of us. Your word of the year defines what matters most to you. It helps you to stay on your path, set your path, and keep going on that path that you chose when you started the new year. And for many of us, we set New Year's resolutions, and by like January 5th, we're like already out of the ballpark. So your word of the year can really help to keep you on that path. What I also love about a word of the year is that it really connects your mind, your body, and your spirit. And when I think of like something in my mind, it's my purpose, right? It's my purpose for what I want to create and how I want to move forward. My body is the motion and that activity that I use to get me closer to my goal. What action, what activity am I doing? And my spirit is the way that I want to achieve something. It's the achievement behind it, right? So your word of the year really can encompass your mind, your body, your spirit, and it's about your purpose, your motion, and the way that you achieve it. So when you think of a word of the year, you want to think about these things, these types of things, like how will it energize me? How can my word of the year be an energizer for me throughout the year? How can that one word inspire me to do more, be more, and want more, right? How can my word of the year ground me when things get crazy? When I'm a little crazy, I need something to ground me. And how can the word of the year help me accomplish what I set out to do? And then when I get there, think of the emotion that I'm going to have behind achieving that. So what I wanted to share with you today for all of you at Sunrider is my word of the year. And I really thought long and hard about this word because I wanted it to encompass so many things for us. And I really think with this word, for me, it really is going to help me stay connected to all of you on the path that I want for the field here, but actually also on my personal journey. So my word of the year is explore. When I think about explore. I want personally to be able to be more fulfilled and enriched mind, body, and spirit. I want to be able to connect myself to those things. And it's really an exploration, right? It's an exploration of what is going to drive me from an action and an activity and a purpose. Explore new learnings. You know, I love to read. So exploration is great there. But then when I think about it as a leader at Sunrider, as somebody who's trying to help you get to the next level of your business, I want to be able to explore what other companies are doing out there so that we can, you know, maybe learn. I want to be able to explore new ideas and new technology that we can bring to Sunrider to help you grow your business. And I want to be able to explore all of the wonderful things about all of you that make you so special. So I think for me, explore is my word of the year, and that's what's going to keep me grounded. So I hope that as you're thinking about your word of the year, that you think of those things that connect you mind, body, and spirit, the things that are going to help move you forward, not only personally, but professionally, because it can be a great overarching goal. So as you consider your word of the year, I'd like to turn it over to my friend and cohort, Dodie Dietz in Canada, so that she can give you a little bit more learning on that so that you can create your word of the year. Dodie?
Well, hello, everyone. It is so great to see all these wonderful people attending. You know what this tells me, Lisa? This tells me they want to move their business forward this year and make an impact. So this is
really exciting. Really exciting.
Yes. Happy to be a part of this. So
I'm happy you're here.
Yeah. I want to share that I've actually used the word of the year for probably over 5 years. And I find for me, the word helps me connect and it brings clarity to my year because I can always go back to that word and bring my focus back to it. So we're going to jump in today and we're going to tell you how to find that magical word for your 2021. So here's the 5 easy steps. First step is reflect. We want you to take this time to reflect on your 2020. We want you to refine and find areas. So refining could be looking at your family and friendships. Maybe it's time you start standing up for yourself with them. It could be areas that you're struggling in. Maybe your Sunrider business. Maybe it's time to step out of your comfort zone and start taking those scary moments. Maybe there is an area for growth, like fitness. Maybe it's time to ask your best friend to be your accountability partner. Or maybe, like Lisa said, you just want to be present when you're present this year. Now, the second step is to make a list. And these are where you're going to compile all your reflections. And we've actually created a worksheet to help you through this. Third is the word you choose. It needs an action behind it. It needs to easily be used daily. And the fourth step is to keep it simple, one word. It has to have purpose and it has to help you accomplish what you want for your 2021. Step 5, now you've got your word. Now you need to put it places that it's visible so you can practice it each and every day. Once you decide your word, you might want to put it on your computer screen, your home, your cell phone. You might want to put it on your bathroom mirror so it's the first thing you see in the morning, or on your visor in the car. So when you're jumping in to run out to do errands, you remind yourself, I have to share Sunrider, or I have to, focus on my business. Wherever you need to see it every day, pop that word there. So the first step is finding the word, is taking the time to review what your 2020 looked like. First, let's come up with the highlights of your year. Think about the 10 best moments and accomplishments. Things like, how many new Sunriders did you bring into your business? Did you step out of your comfort zone on social media? Did you introduce Sunrider to someone you didn't even know? Did you host your first meetup? Big or small, they're your highlights. Next, let's think about the things that didn't go the way you wanted them to, the disappointments, or as Lisa says, the areas of opportunity. This might be things like not sharing the business with a coworker, so she found the website on her own and did her purchase or joined. Thinking about using the 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2-month follow-up. Should you have started it sooner? Did you give your new IBO the best start? Did you walk her through the Fast Start program? Now that you know your year's highlights and things that purposely didn't go the way you wanted them to, let's hone in on a bit and think about the 3 things that are real game changers of your business. I saw my business grow when I started using social media. I committed to reaching and sharing for 30 days, and I seen growth in my business. Now let's think about 3 things that you tend to focus on last year. Perhaps they were things like self-care, or you supported your 2 new IBOs and you've seen them have great success. Or maybe you were religious on contacting your regular customers every 3 months and you've seen sales increase. Well, next, let's think about those 3 things you simply just forgot to do. Consistently missing a strong who do you know list with your new. Missing reaching out to the new customers and IBOs to ask how their first 30 days went with the products and to remind them to order and suggest other products that work great with them. So some of you may have been writing down along with me as I'm chatting, and others of you may want to do this on your own. So here is the worksheet, and this is a rough worksheet. We just want you to jot down everything you can think of, because this is a reflection of your 2020. This will lead you into the next worksheet, which is going to give you the word of your year for 2021. So now you've done your reflections. You can determine your word. Start by looking at the areas in your personal and business life that you'd like to improve, areas that you've struggled in, areas you want growth in. Find the simple common aspects of the list. What are some common action words that can help you accomplish this? What words have actions and motivation behind them that will help you achieve your 2021 goals? What is that word? Well, you know what we need to do first off is make sure we talk or remind ourselves of our word each and every morning. Now that you have the word in the visible places, let's take a moment, sit down where we are, and in the morning, start a journal with 3 intentions behind that word you choose. My word is focus. So my intentions will be to focus on fitness, focus on developing growth in the business by sharing it with 5 people. And also I want to focus on nutrition because this year, or 2020, sorry, the previous year, I kind of let it fall to the wayside, but I need to be intentional with all of these. So my first one is focus on fitness. I need to promise myself in my journal that I will jump on my spin bike for 25 to 45 minutes a day. My intention or focus is on the business growth. I need to share it each and every single day with 5 new people. And my focus is what's passing my lips every day. So I need to consciously focus on the food that I'm going to attempt to eat. Now it's come to the evening, and before I close my eyes, I should probably revisit my journal to see if I've achieved what I wanted to, because I really love checking lists off. So this will be something that'll keep me focused. So did I talk to 5 people about the Sunrider opportunity? And what was the income? This is the time I get to think about what was said. Did I listen to what their objections were? Did I overcome their objections? I can analyze what I had said because we know The more we do things, it becomes permanent. Practice makes permanent. I also need to ask myself, did I spend time in the gym? Did I jump on my spin bike? How did I feel after that? And if I have to put no, why didn't I? What caused me not to take that 25 to 45 minutes for myself that day? And then here's the kicker. Did I eat healthy? Did I let the bad stuff pass my lips? And why did I? When reviewing your intentions you set in the morning, what will you do differently the next day? Will you have more focus, more intentions? Now, this is what I love. In 30 days, I'm going to grab that journal and I'm going to review what I had wrote, because I know my focus is going to become stronger and my goals are going to be achieved quicker. And I am hopefully able to grow both areas, or all three areas of business, or what I've chosen. So I'm eating healthier, I'm growing my Sunrider business, and I'm giving myself care that I want. The practice of intentional purpose will support you and your team with their goals for 2021 in both personal and professional. Start each contact with a brief discussion of what the word is they chose and what are the actions behind that word. Make it a habit to use intentional purpose before beginning any meeting. So everyone who I'm coaching right now, be prepared. I'm going to be looking for your word. Make sure you use it at one-on-one contacts, coaching, and 90-day business plans. As well, keep that word top of mind. As you move closer to the end of 2021, you're going to realize it has brought you to your goal. We can't wait to celebrate when you achieve your personal and professional goals with you. So I just want to take a moment and share why I chose focus. 2020 was a year like no one ever dreamt of. Our lives changed on a dime. I actually found myself consumed by the news. I was turning it on. I couldn't get enough of it. I had to hear it from every direction. And it consumed me. But I tried to stay religious to my regular routine. So I still got out of bed bright and early, put on my running shoes and went for my power walk or jumped on my spin bike, whatever that was. So I had control of that. But then as the day progressed, either I clicked on the news or one of my friends reached out to me and they were having a personal struggle. And it could take me from the positive person right into a negative downslide. So while all this was going on, I would be starting tasks throughout the home because that's where we all were, and I was never completing any of them. So at the end of the day, I was frustrated, I was overwhelmed, and kind of grumpy, I guess. So I think this year, I really need to bring focus back in. Because believe me, if you walked by me and said, Dodie, you want a piece of chocolate? I would have been like, oh yeah. Where before I would think, did I earn that chocolate today? So 2020 has left me 20 extra pounds, so I need to focus on that. I'm also excited to be a part of Sunrider and working on building it within North America and being a part of this business development team. So I'm excited and I'm hoping that you take the moment to do these steps that we just shared with you, because we know Lisa's exploring and I'm focusing. So your business development team is already set in motion for a successful 2021.
Dodie, girlfriend, way to go. So we all know that Dodie's word is focus. So we are going to hold Dodie true to her focused word for this year. And thanks, Dodie. That was really great. Really appreciated that training. So as you can see, my word explore is on a card and it is going to be sitting right here on my desk all year so that I can look at it every single day and realize that all of the attentions and all of the things that I have relative to that word. For all of you, wait, what? One little word? Yes. For you as a mentor. So let's think about this for a moment. if you're a leader here at Sunrider, you know, how do you use this word to be able to coach, train, and develop your team? And this is really important because as a mentor, as a coach, it's really bringing somebody back to their focus. Now for Dodie, her focus is focus. That's her word. But if it's inspire or it's consistency, every coaching conversation could start with that. What's your word? Remember your word. So when we can bring our team back to the word that they chose for the year throughout the entire year, it can really help to keep people on track. And for the mentee, for the people that you're mentoring, it's really all about them keeping that word up close and personal so that they can really keep that in front of their mind and know exactly the path that they want to be on for the next year. So what's your word going to be, Sunrider? We would love to see you post your word on our IBO Facebook page and really create some momentum around this. What's your word? You can create a fun graphic with your word. You could create a fun little short 30-second video and tell us why you chose the word. Let's really create some fun momentum around the word that you chose for 2021. And don't keep the word to yourself. Call it out. Tell your mentor, tell your upline what your word is. Tell your spouse, your kids. Let's all really create some momentum around our word for the year. So want to change gears now because we have somebody pretty amazing on the call today. I gave you a little sneak peek about this person a few minutes ago. And Belinda Ellsworth, wow. I have to tell you, if I could, you know, put in one word, like create a word of the year for Belinda or one word, it would be dynamo. This woman is off the hook amazing. Belinda and I have had the fortune to work together in other companies, and she's been a speaker for other companies that I've worked with or been part of, and never ever disappoints. She always has something to share and really helps people. So if you look at her bio, I mean, this is amazing. She's the founder of Step Into Success. Many of you in our field already know Step Into Success and have you know, purchased some of her products, you know, been part of some of the groups that she's been in. Belinda has over 30 years in this industry, guys, 30 years. Now, I know that some of you have 30 years in the industry, but when you have somebody with Belinda who has 30 years in the industry in both MLM, party plan, hybrid, she gets it. And the reason, you know, even more important that she gets it is the fact that she wrote this amazing book, and you guys know I love it because it's something I talk about all the time, and you can tell because I have all these little yellow stickies in it, but it's Direct Selling for Dummies. She wrote this amazing book. It really breaks down direct selling. It really explains the difference between hybrid and party plan and MLM. She's also helped leaders all over the world with their businesses, and she has a podcast, and she's also the recipient of the DSA's Ethos Award, which is their highest partnership award in the Direct Selling Association. So I could go on and on about Belinda, but then that would cut into the time that she's going to speak to us. So without further ado, I'm going to stop my share so that we can put Belinda front up close and personal. And I am going to stop the recording while Belinda is speaking so that we can honor her. So I'm going to pause the recording. So we're back recording now. Let's see, there we go. Okay, great. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. And also, you know, as we're talking about meetups, I wanted to give a big shout out to somebody in our field who did an amazing meetup last week, someone who stepped out of their comfort zone, did a meetup and had great success. So Sandy Melrose, if you are on today, want to give you a big woo woo. You did $1,000 meetup, girlfriend. So way to go. You did everything the right way. You used the best practices. And I got to tell you, when Bob and Donna gave me a call and just were like bragging on you, I wanted to give you a shout out today. So congratulations to you. So let me go back to my screen for just a moment to share, because there's a lot of good stuff going on. Okay, so we are going to, in the email after the event, you will get the links to order Belinda's planner and things that she talked about. And if you want a little deeper dive into the planner, I did my Friday chat on Friday and I unboxed the planners that I got. And we'll be taking nuggets from that throughout the year to use for training. So next up, we have another amazing guest speaker. And I think this conversation is going to really marry up well to what Belinda just talked about. Mary Beth is someone who has been in our industry for 25 years. She was using the tried and true practices of direct sales for a number of years, and then recently made the decision to course correct, not really course correct, but just kind of take a different path and look at virtual selling. And you're going to hear from Mary Beth's own words just how successful this has been for her. So I'm going to stop my share so that we can bring her up on the screen. And I've got note cards, guys, so that I can stay on track, because you know me, I can go rogue. So I've made very specific questions. So Mary Beth, let's see if I can make you. There you go. You should be able to come on with us.
Hello.
Hello, we are so excited to have you here. So Mary Beth is with another direct sales company, but her story is so great. It resonates with so many of us that I wanted to be able to have her talk with you. And Mary Beth and I have worked together in the past. And I think what she's going to share with you today is going to be really, really interesting for all of you. So Mary Beth, first thing that I'm sure everybody wants to know is how long you've been in direct sales.
Well, first of all, Lisa, it's such an honor to be here and a little intimidating to follow the amazing Belinda Ellsworth, but I really appreciate this opportunity to share just, my thoughts with your team about what they can do as business continues to just revolve. So I have actually been in direct sales, if I really think back, I have been in some sort of direct sales since I was 10 years old. Not even kidding. So various kinds and different companies. One was something when I was 10, it was something I created on my own, honestly. But with the current company that I'm with, I've actually been with this company. I just started my 27th year. So long time.
Long time. So you have experience in both traditional MLM and in Party Plan. What do you like best about both?
Well, everything always has its ups and downs and pros and cons. With direct, like one-on-one marketing, which was what I started when I was 10, not even kidding. But then also, like, I was actually in high school when I started with my first company. And it's great to work one-on-one with people. It's, you can be a little more specific to their very specific needs. But I will say that in the last 27 years of doing more of a party plan approach, I really enjoy the fact that I can talk to a lot of people at one time, but I still feel like I get that very personal time with each individual during what Belinda just talked about with the, what we call a checkout chat, but with that full service checkout. So I don't really feel like I've lost a whole lot by going into the doing group types of things. And in some ways I've gained a lot because they honestly sell on each other. Sometimes I hardly have to talk about the product. They talk each other into it. So there's just a lot of really great stuff with those group dynamics.
Yeah. And it's interesting if we go back in direct selling, and we use that channel, direct sales, because it's MLM, it's Party Plan, it's hybrid. If we go back years, it was even in Party Plan, it was more one-to-one, it was in person. You know, it was the same way with MLM. When you first heard about virtual selling, what did you think?
Well, so it's really funny because I can totally picture where I was sitting the first time I heard somebody talk about virtual parties. We were at, I think, a leadership conference in Colorado, and I can remember who was talking. And I remember just thinking, well, that's nice for her. I'm glad it's working for her, but I didn't have a whole lot of interest in it. Um, yeah, because my live parties were going just fine, and yeah, I was like, well, that's great. That was it. Yeah, I was done.
So what made you make that mindset shift? Because you were running a traditionally run business,
Yeah.
and what made you make the mindset shift to go virtual?
Well, it was a process, and at the same time, it was very quick. About 5 years ago, I did actually start to promote virtual parties. I thought they were a great booking option for people who didn't want to do a live show,
Mhm.
but I had had some limited success with it. And then 3 years ago, first week of January, I remember talking with one of my downline leaders, and we had decided we were done with virtual parties. We weren't going to do them anymore. We weren't going to even train on them. We figured if somebody wanted to do virtual, that was great. We would point them towards the training that they wanted, and we would go just straight live. Well,
Mhm.
the next week, we both attended a retreat and heard people speak on virtual parties and saw that those who were doing virtual parties were scaling their business at exponential rates. And we looked at each other and said, well, I guess it's time we get on board. And so honestly, that was when I made the decision to do that. By the end of 2019, so long before COVID became an issue, I had gone almost completely virtual. And at that point, I was really only doing live on request.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How, for those IBOs that are sitting on the Zoom today and they're thinking, okay, that's great for Mary Beth. Belinda's talked about this, but this is such a learning curve for me. How big was the learning curve when you decided to make the shift?
Well, some of it was nominal and some of it was significant. I still featured the same products that I would show at a live presentation, but I had to learn how to do that in a meaningful way that engaged with my people on a virtual platform. So I had to create new systems with working with my host and interacting with the guests. And just like with live presentations, though there's really no end to that learning curve, it can be as big or as small as you want it to be. What I do love is how much easier it is to onboard new consultants, and I can get them up and running within days. I can hand them my content ready to use. If they can copy and paste, they can be successful at this business.
That is huge, right? Being able to pass off the content versus, you know, several years ago, really having to do hip time and train somebody and having them watch you and over and over and over. This is really just a pass off of information and they just have to do it. And
It really is. Yeah.
that really is powerful. So what did you do though to make the shift? Did you have to take any extra training? Did you have to pick a new mentor? Like, we know that there's trainings out there, but how did you actually, what were the activities that you did to do this?
So I think the biggest thing, and I kind of alluded to that in what I answered a few minutes ago, I had to change my belief about what was possible with virtual. I really did. And I realized that if I wanted to be scalable, both with my personal business and with my team, I had to learn and embrace the virtual business. And I know I'm not the only one in my organization. I've heard that from so many leaders who realized that we were getting run over literally and passed by these newer consultants who came on strictly virtual from the very beginning and were building massive organizations in records amount of time, and we were all getting whiplash from that and realized
Right.
that we had to change our belief about what was possible and what was really best, not just for our business, but and when it comes down to it, it's what's best for our customers. Because
Mhm.
if they can meet in a virtual way more readily than meeting up face to face, then we need to respect that and we need to be willing to meet them where they are available. So I think that was, it was just changing that belief about just what needed to happen, honestly. But then second, all of the above, your questions about, did I take extra training? Did I choose a mentor? Yes, all those things. I took extra training both from our corporate office as it was being developed and given out, and then from other online resources, including Belinda Ellsworth. I found mentors who were far ahead of me, and most often much younger than me, and learned their systems. And I mean, that just never ends. I am constantly learning new things. I'm constantly trying to improve my virtual presence. Just this week, I started a whole new system with a whole different platform than what I normally use, just because things change. And
Right.
I want to be able to reach out to more people. My virtual parties, I will tell you, look very different than they did even a year ago. I've learned the importance of branding my content, and so that when someone attends one of my parties, they expect to see consistent material that reflects my personality. And so just to kind of add on to even what we talked about a minute ago with onboarding new consultants, I
Yeah.
hand them my content. I make it very clear that it's my content and they are welcome to use it until they can develop their own, but it gives them a starting place. And I find that that is so huge. And generally, when they actually do that, they take it, they run with it, and then they start to figure out what they like. That's when they're successful, because they're not having to start from scratch. So it just gives them a
That's
good
a,
starting place.
yeah, that is such an amazing thing because it's so easy to scale when you can
Yeah.
give someone your content. The other thing that I think you said that was extremely powerful for our IBOs on this Zoom today is when you said it's meeting your customer, your guest, your host where they're at. If it's
Mhm.
easier for them to get together virtually. And oftentimes we like the live because it's
Yes.
where our comfort level is.
Yes.
And we're not really thinking about what's in the best interest of our customer. We think, well, we have to meet live. It's what I like. It's what I do.
Yeah.
When if we gave them the option, they may go, well, I'd rather meet on Zoom with you.
Yeah.
So I loved that. I think that was really, really powerful.
Well, and can I
How,
add one
yeah,
more thing here?
yeah, please.
Um,
No, go
so,
ahead.
you know, yeah, I mean, I hate to say COVID was a gift because it certainly is not a gift. So don't take that in any
Right.
wrong way. But what I, I love about how the world has changed in the last 12 months is that a year ago, even bringing a new team member into a Zoom meeting was like such a struggle, like such a process. I had to convince them that it was easy. You click this link and it just magic happens, right? Now everybody knows the word Zoom. It's become a
Right.
household word. So I can say, oh, our Zoom meeting. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. And they come on and it's their child's name. It's hysterical. But it's become a standard now, really around the world, that we do Zoom meetings. This is what we do. So that has opened a huge door for
Yeah.
us because it's made what we do so much more commonplace.
And it really has leveled the playing field for everyone, right? Because everybody is, technology is maybe catching up with so many people out there. So
Well,
let's talk. Go ahead.
as I say, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but it's leveled the playing field, but it's also shown how unlevel the field can be in regards to technology. Because
True.
as you know, I don't have very good internet at my house. This is
Right.
a gamble that I'm doing this from my home. We could be dropped at any second now.
I know
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
so
we're happy to be in a good period. But yeah.
so how many virtual events are you doing each month?
So my goal is to do 6 a week. Um, that's my goal, 6 a week, because that's how I can scale, honestly.
Okay, but realistically, that's your goal. So your goal is six a week, 36 a month,
Right.
or I think you said 36 a month at one point.
Well, I did, but
Um,
that's what I couldn't add apparently that day.
yeah, yeah, that's okay. But realistically, how many are you doing a month? Because I know there are people on here going, no
Uh-uh.
way. Yeah,
So let me tell you this, and this isn't not, again, this is out of what we discussed, but I think this is very, very important to note. So last year I averaged about 13 to 14 a month, average across the year, which is honestly not where I want to be. We are onboarding new consultants now with the expectation that they will do 4 a week. That is the deal. And here's how we talk about it. in our very first meeting with our new consultants, we asked them if they were to take any other part-time job somewhere, how many days a week do they think they would work? And they almost always say 4 or 5. And then we say, okay, and how many hours would those shifts each take? And they say, well, at least 3 to 5 hours. Okay, so if we can show you how to do 4 shifts of work in 1 shift, what do you think? And so we teach them to batch. And we say, when you do 4 parties, it's only a little bit more than doing 1 party, but you're reaching
Right.
4 times the number of people. And then they say, oh, okay. And then we move forward. So we really focus now on starting at 4 shows a week, because if they do 4 shows a week, their businesses will be solid and they will never struggle for future business.
Which is so important. And not only will they not struggle for future business, they'll never struggle for future team members. For new
Exactly.
team members.
Right.
Because
When I
of
say
course we know,
sales
yes,
and recruits. Yeah.
correct. The more people we're in front of at any given time, the more people that exposes us to as potential team members.
Yes.
So another question, Mary Beth, why do you think virtual selling has a greater return on your investment of time?
Because you can reach so many more people at the same time.
Mhm.
So to finish your last question, I averaged 13 shows per month last year. I actually have 25 parties booked for this month already. So yeah, it's all in here. It's that I had to believe that this is what I need to do because this is what I want out of my business.
And did you ever think that 25 parties a month would be possible 3 years ago?
Oh my gosh, no. And certainly, I mean, I knew people who did that many live shows, but I don't know. I think they just didn't sleep. I don't know. I don't know how they did it. It certainly did not fit into my lifestyle.
Right.
I was kind of happy with about 12, that was like my limit. But so to your next question, I reach people all over the place. One of my team members was talking today about a party he has going on, and he has people in this party from the Netherlands and London, and I was just like,
Right.
that is so much fun. So the fact that I can reach parties or people from all over, my content can be in front of 300 plus people during the course of a week. In the traditional parties, live parties, that number would have been maybe between 30 and 40, maybe
Right.
on a
Right.
good week. So that's 10 times the number of people. That's 1,200 people a month. Now, I live in a very small town that's far away from any major city. So my town is about 9,000. And I mean, and the closest city is 2 hours away. So it's not like I'm just a suburb of a bigger metropolis. I am quite a distance from
You are.
any large group of people.
You are.
When I would bring new team members on, that whole concern about saturation was always an issue. And although it really wasn't, and I could show them the numbers that proved it, they had that mental block, right? Well, with the virtual, that's completely irrelevant. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter where they live. It doesn't matter if their next door neighbor is with the same company.
Right.
I actually, because I have a math background, I run the numbers and I tell them, there is one consultant for literally every 5 million people in our country. And I would imagine your numbers are even higher, your
Mhm.
ratio. So, that's crazy. When you think of it that way, it's like, oh my goodness, of course. There's so much business out there and we can
Yes.
reach any of them because with virtual. So.
Well, I know you and I have talked at times about getting creative with a business. How do you get creative when you have to? Because you're talking about sometimes I don't have internet. How do
Right.
you do that?
Yeah, it's really a challenge. It's something that we grumble about almost daily at my house. It has certainly significantly changed in the 15 years we've lived in this house. It was frustrating when we first moved here. Now it's a serious issue because 15 years ago it was just kind of, I don't know, it was what's the word I want? Inconvenient. Now it's a serious issue.
Right.
So I've learned to batch my work. I have a favorite couple of coffee shops in our actual town. I live about 5 miles outside of town. And so I have a couple favorite places I will go, and I will sit there for 2 or 3 hours and just really hammer out, if I'm, especially if I'm creating content. That's when I find that when anytime you're using digital pictures and things like that, that's when speed can be a real problem. So
Mhm.
I just batch it. And then I do actually rent office space at kind of a ad hoc office space spot
Right.
in our town. Rent about 10 hours a month. And so if I have a virtual meeting that I'm concerned that I might not have good internet up here for whatever reason, I'll go down there and run it from my office space. So, I make it work. I mean, there's always a way if you have the will and if you have the desire. And that's what I do. So
It's so true, because I always go back to my grandma Helen, who always said, Lisa Ann, there's 9 ways to skin a cat, right?
yeah,
And so you can always find the other way.
you can
So
always find it.
absolutely. So I know that everyone's going to want to know, has it been easier or harder to recruit virtually?
Oh my
And do
gosh.
you have to approach it differently?
It's so much easier. It's so much easier because, well, for a number of reasons. I approach it the same because helping people see how this business can benefit them and their families, that hasn't changed. That's the same as it was 27 years ago.
Mhm.
But to be able to show a potential consultant how he or she can run the business completely from her smartphone or his smartphone during pockets of the day, rather than
Right.
having to load up a car with product and spend 3 or 4 hours away from home, that has been a game changer.
I bet.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
bet it has. And for you personally, how has your business changed since you shifted to virtual? Has it grown?
Oh my
I
God.
think we know that answer, right?
Yes. Yes. So it's just grown in every way. It's different. It is different. It's shifted in how I spend my time.
Mhm.
And it's actually, I've had to learn different ways to set boundaries on my time because, I'm not just on off kind of thing. But I can work from anywhere at any time, which for me is a very, very big deal. I've always loved the flexibility of this business, but being able to work, I've run my parties from my son's kitchen table in London, England. I ran them from a dorm room while on a humanitarian aid project in Albania about a year and a half ago. I ran parties while on a 4-day long distance cycling trip with my brother one summer, 2 summers ago, actually. And I actually ran my first virtual party from a beach chair at the Atlantis Resort in the resort in the Bahamas on an incentive trip. That was where I ran my very first ever virtual party. And I remember my host was,
That's awesome.
at the end of the party, I was like, by the way, I sent a picture of where I was sitting and she said, what? And so it was so fun. But to be able to run it from anywhere for me is priceless.
It really is. And so what would you tell somebody in the Sunwriter field today who's really considering making that shift to virtual selling?
Well, first of all, I also realized I didn't finish answering that question. My sales have grown. My sales last year were more than double the prior year. So it was the first year I was fully virtual, more than double. And my team sales has gone up by 150%. So I don't know if anybody out there would like 100%, 50% growth in your team this year. I'm going to suggest that this is the way to make it happen because, again, this is where it's scaling. This is where it's scaling, and you just have to jump into it because you're missing out if you don't. So if you are thinking about this, which I hope you all are, the first thing to do is really to find someone who's doing it well and follow their lead. That is what I did. That's what my colleagues, who've been in as long as I have and had to make that shift. So find someone, follow their lead, take what you learn and make it your own. Start with maybe just one party a week and learn and grow from there. Take classes on how to build an online presence, a VIP group, etc. Belinda mentioned it, and I took her class to learn how to build my VIP group. So I do. That was the one thing I think I recommended here. But it's just like with live presentation. You're going to find what you like, and you're going to find what you don't like. There are basic principles to follow, but there's no perfect way. And it's all about developing your own style, just like you've done with face-to-face. The virtual business is going to continue to grow. And your only real decision, in my opinion, is, are you going to let it pass you by? Think about the railroad business. At least in the US, as air travel increased, railroads almost went bankrupt. In fact, I think some of them actually did, because they insisted on being in the railroad business rather than in the business of transporting people. Same thing happened with Kodak. I have read the Kodak story in book after book, and I live 2 hours from where Kodak was founded. So
I know, and my father-in-law was a chemical engineer at Kodak, and that is the
Yes.
greatest story in the world. Yeah.
It's so great and so sad all at the same time. 30 years ago, when we moved to upstate New York, they had 50,000 employees, and I think they are now down to less than 5,000.
Mhm.
They actually invented a digital camera long before anyone else did, but the top level execs refused to get on board with digital, and well, you know the rest of the story. I mean, they've barely stayed alive. It is the same with live parties versus virtual parties. There will always be some live business, but it's going to get harder and harder to do it. And I do think there will be a big surge after COVID, because people just want to get together again. But it's not going to last. People's lives are going to be just as busy as they were before. And frankly, we also have to think about the generations coming behind us, because they live in a virtual world, I guess is the
They
best
do.
way to explain it. And that's the next generation of our businesses. So if we aren't playing to their needs and their strengths, we're going to lose it. So just realize that you don't have to let go of your life. Keep doing it when you can find people. I have customers who say to me, as soon as things open up, I want another live party. And I'm like, okay, but I will be very specific about who I even do a live show for anymore. It's going to have to be worth my time and energy to go do that. So you don't have to let go of it completely, but you just have to realize that it's going to be limited. Whereas with virtual, literally anything is possible. You can scale it as far and as big as you want.
I love that. And for those, I know you talk about finding, somebody who's doing it well and follow their lead. What about our Sunwriter IBOs who are looking for those someones? This is a new horizon, and we don't have a whole lot of people at Sunwriter who are doing meetups today. Where would you suggest they go for inspiration?
Well, I would say find someone somewhere who's doing it well. Way back 26 years ago, when I started in the party plan, I called a friend of mine who had been with a different company and had been very successful with that company for, several years. I called her and picked her brain for an hour. It didn't matter. It was a different company. It was the same principles. You probably know someone somewhere that is doing something virtually and can teach you. And there's like I said, there's basic skills of just knowing how to create meaningful content that you can find. There's so many resources online. And while I hesitate to recommend any particular one, like I already mentioned, I did learn a good deal on how to do VIP with Belinda's program. So I do recommend her. I also highly recommend, because to me, you don't have to know diddly about how to create good content. Knowing any of that isn't going to help you if you don't believe that it's what you need to do. And the one recording that changed everything for me with my business as far as how to approach it, how to approach any new thing, was a really great audio by a guy named Jim Rohn called Build Your Direct Sale Marketing Business. It has nothing to do with virtual selling, but it has everything to do with having the right mindset for this industry. And one of his famous quotes that I absolutely love is that it has nothing to do with the blowing of the wind. The wind's going to blow on us all. It has to do with how you set your sail. You have to learn to set the sail to go in the direction you want to go. And sometimes that means taking a really big, bold step and learning something new, but you won't regret it.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Take me to church. That was a great way to to end your segment. And I do, really would reach out and let all of our IBOs know that we do have content that we have prepared for you. Belinda talked about it in her talk. We've created the imagery and even the posts for you on social media. All you have to do is do a little bit to make it your own.
And
so
that's exactly what I do. I don't really create my own. I take what my company's created, I tweak it.
And make it your own.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mary Beth. There's one question that is like burning with our field that's come up in the chat is, what time of the day and the week do you think it's best for virtual parties?
Yeah.
And I know what your answer is going to be, but I want you to say it.
Okay. There is no perfect time. There is no perfect time. And there's so many ways to do it. I run my parties over the course of 5 days. So it's not an all in one and done thing. And a lot of that is because of my internet situation. For me to do an hour-long demo from, my house is risky. And it's not practical for me to do it from anywhere else. So that but that is a thing you could do. You could do a Facebook Live. You could do gather everybody to a Zoom meeting. You could do a 15-minute segment on the top 3 products that you think everybody should have because it's winter. Right. You can do this however you want, but there is no perfect time, and you're going to reach different people at different times of the day. You have to figure out what's a good time for you when you're going to be at your best. Having said that, there's still no perfect time for that. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. You have to make yourself, just like you had to get comfortable doing that first one-on-one presentation with somebody, you have to get comfortable with looking at your cell phone or whatever you're using to broadcast with, and just do it. And of course, like everything else, the more you do it, the easier it will get, and it'll grow from there.
Thank you again, Mary Beth. You're awesome. So appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us today. I know that your words have really resonated with a lot of our IBOs. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And we're going to go ahead and shift gears yet again. So there we go. All right. So I hope that you all really enjoyed Mary Beth's words. I know that having known Mary Beth for many years, she's really seen it all. And she's been in this business a long time, as long as many of you have been with Sunrider. She's been in this business. So I hope that you take a little bit of what Mary Beth shared, of what Belinda shared, and really start to think, could this really work for me? Because we think it can. So up next, we have an amazing training on, for those of you that are leaders or simply want to be able to help your team, some coaching techniques and our 90-day business plan for Sunrider. So Jane Edwards, our business development manager in the UK, is up next. So Jane, I am going to turn this over to you and make you a co-host. There you are, so we can see you if you'd like. And if not, great, awesome. I think you're up, right, Jane?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you. For some reason, my camera won't start, so that's very strange. But never mind.
I just made you co-host, so try that again.
Okay. No, it's telling me it can't start, but that's fine because as long as you can see the slides. That's going to be the most important thing.
Awesome.
I don't know if I can move the slides, Lisa.
I've got your slides. I'm gonna do them for you, Jane.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome to Coaching Techniques. And we're going to talk about the 90-day business plan as well. So we want to, in this session, give you an understanding of the coaching relationship and some basic techniques and resources to work with so you can help move people up the career path. So first, let me ask you a question. Would you still be here today if somebody hadn't supported you? For most of us, the answer to that question is no. I know I wouldn't. And I would have left after a very short period of time if someone hadn't kept close contact with me when I was new. Along the way, many people have shown their support and their belief in me, and my guess is that you would be able also to identify people that have done the same for you. So let's explore the value of coaching. Why do we do it? And what function does it serve? Running your own business can be solitary, and it can be difficult to create and execute a plan of your own. Coaching provides support, guidance, and encouragement, and it provides a structure to work with. It provides an opportunity to share values and set goals, and puts in place a strategy to succeed. It ensures that people do not fall through the net through lack of support, and it provides opportunities for personal development and growth so that people continue to be engaged. And it's a great opportunity for you as a leader to grow by example. So what's the difference between coaching and training? It's useful to distinguish between coaching and training, because when we can do this, we know what to offer. Coaching is about enhancing skills, supporting, motivating, championing, inspiring, exploring. It's a journey of discovery. Training is about transferring knowledge, teaching new information so that the person can carry out a task. It's important not to try to coach someone in an area where they've not been trained. If you find this happening, you should return to or repeat their basic training. So identifying who to coach is important. This is going to take up your valuable time, so make sure you work with only those that are worth that time. To identify your high potentials, go through your genealogy on the workspace. You can break it down into 3 sections. 1, new IBOs, people in their fast start, and you should always work with these people, with a mixture of training and coaching. 2, IBOs who are actively working towards a goal. These are great people to work with. And IBOs who you can inspire or reignite, who may not be new, but their circumstances may have changed. If you have no high potentials, then it's a good idea to sponsor some new people. Sponsoring new people anyway, so you always have a good flow of high potentials, is a great idea. So let's look at the coaching agreement. Set up an agreement each time you start with a new IBO. An agreement is important to be productive. Don't take anything for granted or make assumptions, and make sure you talk through and agree these points prior to starting. Accountability, well, that's theirs. They agree to commit to the process and tasks and to be present for each session and be open to feedback and new ways of working. As a coach, you agree to commit to the process, be present for each session, listen fully, be supportive, creative in your thinking, and non-judgmental. Confidentiality. State that you will not speak about your sessions to others. You will not speak specifically of any conversation in relation to that person unless they give you permission to do so. There is a note here. You'll uncover some themes with people you coach that will be generally in the bracket of sales, sponsoring, or meetups. It's okay for you to speak to the theme, but not to the exact coaching session or the person. Permission. The coach asks for permission to give constructive feedback and ideas when the IBO is stuck. And agree on setting SMART goals. These are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based actions, which you will both review each time you meet. Agree on positive outcomes and have a can-do attitude. And this sets the tone of your sessions, and it means that you won't collude with any moaning. It's a waste of both of your time. So let's look at some techniques that will help you to support your coachee as you navigate your sessions. If you haven't coached much before, don't panic. It's something that you can learn. Practice these techniques and your confidence and belief in your coaching will gradually improve. So first is active listening. This helps you understand the person you're coaching and helps the person feel heard and helps them to articulate themselves. Active listening enables you to listen for cues or fear, lack of commitment, and provides you with opportunities to feedback, teach, support, and encourage. Active listening also helps people to uncover their own thinking and to explore their own ideas. Another technique is using open questions. Words are powerful. They cannot be unsaid, so choose them wisely. Using open questions means that the IBO will have time to respond and will have to respond. So you're not providing answers unless asked, and it's worth checking with words such as, are you asking me to answer that for you? Questions should be concise and open-ended. See here some examples of open questions. What are you prepared to do to achieve your goals? What have you tried so far? What would you like to have achieved by the end of this session? What's the first and easiest step you could take? Open questions pass the responsibility back to the IBO. Now, articulating what is going on is a method where you, as the coach, are speaking to what you see, hear, experience, or sense, and what is happening during the session. Sometimes people are not able to articulate things and go a bit around the houses before they really get able to get to the core of what they're thinking is happening. Articulating what's going on allows you to get to the crux of a situation with them more quickly. So here's some examples. So from what you're telling me, it seems that you would really like to be able to sponsor more IBOs. Remember, we've already asked for permission to do this in our coaching agreement. And the statement is set up as an assumption and it allows the IBO to decide whether it fits. Or, from what you're saying, it seems to me that you're experiencing a feeling or not knowing of where to start or what to do next. Would that be right? Another technique is holding the focus. It's your responsibility to hold the focus of the session as you'll be leading it. The IBO may wander in different directions or become overwhelmed, and you'll need to bring them back to the issue at hand and reassure them if necessary. So a summary of those techniques that we've just explored are, and these are not exhaustive, but they're a great place to start. Use active listening, use open questions, articulate what's happening, and hold the focus. But also remember that practice makes perfect. So let's take a look at some goals. And when you have a specific goal to work with, you have clarity. Identifying that goal is sometimes a common problem that people don't always know what their goal is, or they lack the confidence to set one. This is something that you can work out together. Tell them it's your job to help them find a goal and start asking questions. Find out more about what motivates them. Is it recognition, money, leadership? And work with that as a fundamental guide to help setting a goal. Ensure that the steps you put into it are small with a bigger picture in mind for your future. So coaching is about setting people up for success. And after all, if they reach their goal, so will you. So by providing a clear structure for the sessions, you'll both be clear about mutual expectations. Some of the structure should be fixed and some negotiated. People feel better when they know what's happening. So here are the fixed and here are the negotiated. The fixed aspects are timescales, outline the number of sessions you'll hold and provide the agreed actions that are carried out between each session. Define how you'll both handle it if the actions are not done. We're coaching to the 90-day business plan, so this would indicate that 12 sessions would be good and 1 a week. But you can hold less sessions, and if actions and SMART goals are not met or work hasn't been done to achieve those goals, then you can renegotiate. Find out where they need to be flexible and what you can co-create together. Ask questions to help you both understand how to move forward. Excuse me. Another area to look at is skills versus motivation. So for a coaching process to be relevant, you would be wanting to look at why motivation is important. Is your IBO motivated? You really can't achieve anything if the IBO has no will to do so. So is that something that you can explore, or should you look for other people to coach? Ask how motivated they are to achieve their goals and listen to their answers. Because what would you rather? 80% skills and 20% motivation, or 20% skills and 80% motivation? Of course, you would rather have 80% motivation because that means a person is motivated to learn new things. The 90-day business plan is a place and a framework by which that you as the coach can easily see at a glance in the last 90-day performance of your IBO. It emphasizes responsibility of the IBO as a business partner of the coach in setting and achieving goals. And you will receive access to this after today's training. So we've got some different slides there that I'll give you an idea of what the 90-day business plan look like. And to accompany this, but we also have a training guide. So everything there is laid out for you. You don't have to worry about not knowing how to use it. And the last thing I'd like to discuss with you is reflection, because coaching is essential to help you grow your business. The return on your time investment requires reflection, and you can review each month to see where your results are coming from. Usually it will be those that you're coaching that will show the results and growth. And having a clear understanding of the results of your coaching and what it can bring to your business will be important so that you are confident that your time is being used in the best place. Your personal business is also very important. Ensure that you continue to grow and develop your personal business so that you have a constant flow of new people to train and coach. And finally, remember that coaching is a privilege and a joy. So have fun and celebrate every little win, big or small, as you go. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Jane, that was awesome. I have to tell you, there were so many great nuggets in that training. I love the fact that we're talking about, you know, the coaching relationship and the confidentiality around coaching, and, you know, really defining the skills versus motivation. So I hope that you all found it as interesting as I did. And thank you, Jane, so much for the time that you took in creating that training and being with us today.
You're
Awesome
so welcome.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we were going to take a short break here, brought to you by like our very favorite Sunbar, but we are going to move on because we have just one more section and I really want to value everyone's time. But I don't know about you. During this training, I'm not gonna lie, I've been munching on my Sunbar because nutrition, no empty calories. We love that. So the last thing that we're going to talk about today is a brand new selling system that I am so excited to launch. And why am I more excited maybe about this selling system than another selling system? I think it's because there's some new stuff. It's something that many of you have been asking about. It's something that really lends itself well to starting out a new year, And for many of us, you know, part of our journey in life is really that we want to feel better, we want to be healthier, and this new selling system really falls right in line with these things. So we are launching Sunfit 321 today. You all probably already have an email in your inbox talking about the amazing products that go along with this. And I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of Sunfit 321 now. So the caramel macchiato protein plus that was in the email is for the USA only. So just wanted to make that one note first. And if you are in another country and you're joining us today as a guest, I want you to know that Sunfit 321 will be rolling out to you soon. So this is your sneak peek. And for those in North America, this is your launch. So what I love about our Sunfit 321 selling system is that it follows those same 5 steps of the Sunrider selling system that you all know and love from Daily Wellness and Focus Calm Sleep. We share the products, we share a fun tool that keeps people engaged, we share the product story, we do a quick demonstration that we call Demo and Delight, and we close with confidence. So of course, we've got that the 5 steps on your workspace so that you can use them with your team trainings and for yourself. But first things first, your display. Now, for some of you, if you're out and about and you can do something in person, this shows you how to set your display up. But even on Zoom, you can set up a quick display. And the display are these products that encompass the Sunfit 321 selling system. We've got Fortune Delight, we have VitaTaste, and we have Protein Plus. As you can see here on the display, we have the sample packs that you all love that you can share with your customers, your guests, and your host. We have a 30-day pack that you can share, and we have the new IBO demo kit. So there is a beautiful display if you were out and about sharing with your friends. But you could even set something up on Zoom and kind of zoom in and show everyone your display as well. If you remember, each selling system comes with product cards so that you can educate yourself and your customers, your guests, and your host. And Heriberto, I'm glad you love the sample pack, my friend. So do I. So let's talk about the breakdown of Sunfit 321. First, we share the product focus. What I love about the cards, if you remember, the cards are what you can use to actually talk on Zoom when you're out and about. We also have a presentation I'll talk with you about in a moment. But I love this card front because it gives an overview of Sunfit 321. It's a way to jumpstart your health, your weight, and your wellness, and an amazing quote from our founder, Dr. Tei-Fu Chen. The card back gives you the exact words to use in order to share the focus of what you'll be talking about today. It's talking about how we can enhance your holistic health, and it goes on to talk about the philosophy of regeneration and nourish, cleanse, balance. Then we have some amazing tools, and these tools are a little different than what you all are used to with Daily Wellness and Focus Calm Sleep. In Sunfit 321, we have 3 products, 2 paths, and 1 why. So what we want to be able to use as the first tool is to help our customers, guests, and hosts to determine which path they want to take. Do they want to lose weight, or do they simply want to get fit? We give you some questions to ask and a way to frame that. And then we also have you explore their why, because we know anytime someone takes a journey down a particular path, their why is so important. And we give you questions to ask. Why did they choose the path? What matters most to me? How am I going to measure my success? And then we give you even more explorative questions to be able to ask yourself and hone in to really understand for your customers, guests, and hosts why this journey is important to them. 2 more tools that I am over the moon excited about that are really going to bring people together on this journey are the way that we interact with the people that are in the Sunfit 321 journey. Now, if you remember in the past when we had the Slim Down Challenge, we all got together on Facebook. What we wanted to do with Sunfit 321 is pull people away from Facebook for a bit and give them an experience that felt a little bit different. We also know that when people get on Facebook, they tend to get on their phone and then they're in 52 other groups and they lose their attention. So we wanted to make sure that we could pull people together, kind of keep them engaged and kind of keep them focused and not distracted with the other things that Facebook can do. So to do that, we've chosen the Band app. Band is a community of people that are into athletics or into sports, school groups, community groups that all come together in Band. Band looks very similar to Facebook. It is a worldwide app. And so we have created a Sunrider community on Band. Pretty exciting. We also have beautiful challenge boards that the marketing team has put together so wonderfully for us that really walk somebody through the body, mind, spirit journey in the Sunfit 321 challenge. In the challenge boards, they get daily challenges for mind, body, and spirit, and that helps to engage them as well. I did just get a text that the sample packs will be available within 2 weeks. So just wanted to give you that notice. The 3 products on your Sunfit 321 journey are Sunfit Protein Plus, Fortune Delight, and VitaTaste. If you remember from the other selling systems, on the cards, we introduce the product story, which is those 3 products, and we also give you some tips for testimonials that stick, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. So on your first card, you share a little bit about Protein Plus. We give you the talking points and the words to use. We do the same thing with Fortune Delight. We introduce that on the card front and the talking points and words to use on the back. And again, with VitaTaste, the product and the talking points and the words to use. Your personal testimonial throughout this journey is extremely important. And so we want to make sure that we give you tips for testimonials that stick so that you don't run the risk of talking them into the purchase or talking them into the Sunfit 321 journey and then talking them right back out. So we frame it in such a way that you share the product name, how you felt before using it, how you felt while using it, how you felt after using it, and then the key ingredients that someone can get excited about. And we actually give you the words to use in the testimonials. I won't read this for you because you all know the drill with the other selling systems, but it's simply giving you an idea of how you might frame your testimonial. You don't want to read this word for word. We're giving you the idea of how to make it your own. Again, we want you to keep your testimonials short and smart, and that's why we give you the words to use and talking points. Next comes the demo and delight, or what we call the art of the experience. And we share with you which 2 products in this selling system are most demonstrable. These products are easiest to demonstrate. Fortune Delight for the cleanse part of the Nourish, Cleanse, and Balance, and VitaTaste for the balance. And we share with you how you demo and delight and exactly what that looks like. And then wrapping up the selling system, we close with confidence by inviting people to join us. So we talk about our 3 opportunities at Sunrider: IBO, preferred customer, and retail customer. And on the back of the card, we give you the words to use. Now, what's really exciting about this selling system is that your business easy for me to say, your business development team will be managing the Band app. So you don't have to do any management. You're simply inviting those guests that want to join us in the Sunfit 321 journey to take part in the Band app. where they can find their challenge boards, they can find their daily motivation and inspiration, they can share in the community and really be connected to this group. So we're managing that for you. All you have to do is find the people who are interested in taking the SunFit 321 journey with us and inviting them on this journey. What happens when they purchase their pack, their 30-day pack, they actually get a code to be invited to join those groups. And all they have to do is simply input the code, get the invitation to the band app, get another invitation to be able to see those challenge boards. And we have an amazing site that houses all of the exercises from the former Fitness Brigade. So we're using the Global Convention website to be able to get people engaged, to be able to see those videos, to understand how to do the exercises so that they're safe and it's a safe and healthy journey. So very excited. So moving forward, it's as easy as taking a look at the tools on your workspace where we have everything lined out and laid out for you. Inviting people to join you in the SunFit 321 journey. Getting people together on Zoom or on Facebook to explain. When they purchase their sample or their 30-day pack, they'll get all the information to join those groups and start their journey. It's really as easy as that. In the shop and share, we also give you those ways to shop and share with your customers, guests, and hosts as we do everything else. And we give you the SunFit 321 PowerPoint. So here are the selling system success tools that will reside on your workspace. We have the conversation cards that I just outlined. We have your meetup presentation, and we have your selling system checklist. It's really that easy. So I encourage every single one of you on Zoom today to review the SunFit 321 selling system. We've also created a meetup basics training online that you can review, and then schedule your SunFit 321 meetup. What makes this so much different? And we heard you loud and clear when you said it was really difficult to invite customers, guests, and hosts to a slim down challenge because I felt uncomfortable asking someone, or maybe someone felt that we were asking them to lose weight or they needed to get in shape. This journey is really about health and wellness. So you can invite someone on their 2021 health and wellness journey, schedule that Zoom meetup, encourage them to take the path. Is it a path to wellness, or is it a path in fitness, or is it a path to weight management? Once you do that, we would love to hear your results of your Zooms and share them with your upline and share them with home office. So, a lot of information, guys. We have given you so much today. I hope you really enjoyed creating your word of the year. And I hope if you haven't already created it, that you use the tools that we'll be posting on Facebook later today to create your word of the year. That was a really fun part. Belinda was amazing. There were so many nuggets, like I've written them down. I hope you've done the same thing and that you're excited about Belinda's sharing with us. And Mary Beth, hearing from somebody who has walked your walk, guys, who has been, doing business maybe a traditional way and is now looking at a non-traditional way. And Jane's amazing coaching for all of you leaders. And then last but not least, our brand new selling system. So from everything that you saw today, now is the time for you to make your plan. What are you going to do in the next 2 days to implement something that you heard in this amazing day of training? And then what will you do 2 weeks from now? And what will you do 2 months from now? Because it is the momentum that you create and the activity that you do that is going to get you closer to the results that you desire. It's that important. A couple of last things. Save the date. February 18th will be our North America Sunrider Day. This is going to be an all IBO-led event, and we are going to be giving you the materials to make this happen within your teams. So save that date. And last but not least, our Jumpstart follow-up day, Thursday, January 28th, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. We are going to be reviewing some of the things that we learned here so that we can give you some time to put them in action. And then we want to hear how they're working for you. What's been happening in your world in the 2 weeks? Remember, 2 days, 2 weeks, in the 2 weeks since you've taken this amazing training. So we'll be sending out information very quickly on that. So I'm going to check the Q&A one last time before we end our event. Appreciate, I'm so glad you're all finding this a great experience. Thank you all so much. You'll all be getting an email after this event with a survey. We would love your feedback on the survey, and that link will also contain, or that email will also contain the links to order Belinda's amazing tools. And Dodie has also posted that to our Facebook pages so that you can order those tools right away. Let me check one last. Okay, I'm hearing words like momentum and it is time to rock online. Yes, Rosalind, we are so excited. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your weekend. I hope you have an amazing new year, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care, everyone.